all together the prayer for world peace. O Lord, may your hand lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be enlightened and cultured. May all attain perfection. May peace be established in the three bodies of man. May peace be established in the three worlds. May peace be established everywhere. May truth be our religion. May service be our worship. May knowledge be our breath. May world be our family. May yoga and meditation be our way. May our eyes see happy and noble things. May our ears hear happy and truthful words. May our tongues be sweet and truthful. May our bodies be divine instruments. May noble thoughts come to us from all corners of the universe. May we never leave God. May God never leave us. Om, peace and enlightenment. Okay. This is a series called Essentials of Life. It's also being published in Florida in a magazine. But it's a series, and so let me ask you, do you want to be happy in your life?
Of course. Everybody.
You want to know the purpose of your life?
Yes.
Yes? Well, then you need the essentials. So, do you have these answers? Who are we? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Why am I not getting what I want? Why can't I not quiet my mind? Any of you have those questions? Guess what? You need meditation. Okay? You need meditation. And meditation is not removing yourself from life and going into the world of nothingness, because that's what people think is meditation. Okay? It is a very active participation in beginning to understand yourself. An active participation to begin to understand yourself. The first number thing that you need in your essentials, one that I always talk about is what? Gratitude. The second one is meditation. And then everything else comes. Okay? And then you want to go, what is life? Work, sleep? What is your potential? All of those questions that you have in your subconscious, all of those questions can be answered through meditation, believe it or not. Without meditation, you cannot make sense of your life. Meditation is conscious awareness. Conscious awareness is beyond the mind. You can think about yourself. You can think, what am I? What am I doing? All of that. That is not how you get to know yourself. That's how you repeat stuff that you have stuck in there for all those years and what has been programmed. What's stuck in there and what has been programmed in is being constantly repeated. And so thinking about those questions doesn't work. You will never have the answer thinking. Conscious awareness is meditation. It goes past your thoughts. It taps into your inner being, in your higher self, into your soul self. Without tapping into your soul self, you're just repeating what you've been programmed to do. So, I hate to tell you this, but you're just programmed. And what do we call programmed people? Robots. Okay, well, I'll be gentle.
Call them sheep.
Your rational mind, our rational mind, interprets everything with a bias or through our own experiences, which is normal. It's natural. There's no question about it. There's nothing wrong with that. We're supposed to learn from our experiences. But when we react to new experiences with previous thought from previous experiences, it creates a pattern. And if we only do that without inner reflection, without inner consciousness, without that, we become what I called you, a robot. Because what you're doing is creating a life that is the same over and over and over. In other words, you're just using a certain amount of neural pathways. You're not creating any new ones. And you keep going, and then people want to know, why is my life not changing? Why am I not achieving what I want to achieve? Because you're in the same pattern over and over and over. This is the reason why meditation is so important. You don't want to be in the same pattern. Who created that pattern for you? Your family? Well, that's very good. Nothing wrong with that. Your society? That's not so good necessarily, because they want you as consumers. Your friends, everybody around you. Is it creating you? How about you creating you? Don't you want to be free? I want to be free. I have to tap into not what is programmed into my mind, because that's sitting in my subconscious. I have no idea what's in there, by the way. You don't have any idea what's in your subconscious. That's your programming. You have no idea. You have to reprogram according to what you like. That can only be done when you tap into your higher self, your higher consciousness, your soul self. That's when you can start reprogram. Now, if your life is absolutely perfect, exactly how you want it, you don't need to do any of this. If all of your wishes are fulfilled, you don't need to do any of this. You've already done the work. No, I don't see that you agree with that one. Your life isn't exactly the way you want it. It's good, has a lot of good things. So when we contemplate the purpose of our life, when we think about that, well, what we actually refer to is previously stored in the mind. And here comes the problem. Let's say, if you're my age, you might have been told as a child that you're no good. Okay? Or that you're not good enough. That you're not smart enough. Nowadays, parents are a little bit more adept of not saying that to their children. Hopefully. Okay? As an adult, everything that you start trying to endeavor, the subconscious mind will go and hampers anything that you do with that subconscious thought. I am not good enough, I don't deserve it. It will automatically come up. You don't know it's coming up. And then you go, why am I not achieving? because you don't know what's in the subconscious. Obviously, that's what's in there. And you say to yourself, many times if you start listening to what you are saying to yourself, you will say to yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. Okay? It is a thought pattern that reaffirms the same similar thought pattern, creates a groove in your mind, and that groove keeps running, and it keeps running without your knowledge, and therefore you cannot change your life. So how do you meditate? Well, let me give you an example. I love this example. At one time I watched Oprah's show, and Oprah Winfrey, you all know her. Okay. And she was going to have on the teacher. I've told the story before because it made such an impression on me. She had a teacher on, she said that was the best teacher in her whole life. And of course the teacher was retired already, and she wanted to honor her and bring her on to the show. And the question was, what did this teacher do that was so different that made it the most important teacher in her personal life? That teacher at one point put her hands on her shoulder and said to her, "You are such a beautiful child." That's it. She never, ever thought of herself as a beautiful child. It changed her whole life. It reprogrammed her subconscious. It made such an impact. And I thought the story was unbelievable. And you know the accomplishments. And if you know any of her history of what she was abused and everything else, her accomplishment, that changed her life. We are so powerful in changing others' lives, but we're constantly going on the same rotation, the same robotic mind flow, or playing in the same neurotransmitters, the neural pathways we call them. Okay? You want to change your life, you've got to change your neural pathways. You've got to change your subconscious mind. All of those things. That's all. How do we do that? What is meditation? Meditation is viewing everything as a brand new subject. Right now, as you're listening to me, you're referring every word I'm saying to something you've heard before in the past, or something you want to remember for the future. You're not thinking about it as brand new. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Meditation means being in the present moment right now without having a thought about the past or a thought about the future. It's called mindfulness. That's what it's called. Isn't that interesting? Are you ever in your present moment? Are you ever? Only if you're in meditation. When do we get into the present moment? When you are creative, you automatically come into a present moment. Because creativity, anything creative, it doesn't matter if you're in the kitchen creating, or if you're painting, or if you're doing mathematics, or if you're cleaning. If you are in creative mode, your soul self has to come in. And your mind has to remove itself. Creativity puts you into the present moment. Isn't that interesting? When you are absolutely concentrated, and you've all experienced this, when you're working on something and your mind is so concentrated and you have no You forgot that you didn't eat. You forget everything about it. You're just so concentrated. Somebody walks into the room and you jump up. That is a point of meditation. That kind of concentration. And so concentration and being in the moment are two things that you need for meditation. You don't have to sit like this. Matter of fact, when you get older, that doesn't work with the knees. Okay. But what brings you joy? Start looking at what brings you joy. Start working on things that bring you joy, because creativity brings you joy. So everybody has a different creative. Right now, it's a perfect season for people to go out and play with Mother Earth, plant flowers. Perfect timing now. I know, but so long. Okay. What brings you joy? Now, here's the question. If you know what brings you joy, you have to also ask yourself, do I deserve it? Because half the time, you're going to say, I don't deserve it. Your subconscious mind has been programmed by somebody else, and you're not a robot, so reprogram it. Are you realizing how much of it we are working with our programmed environment? It's awful. Reprogram it. Start with becoming mindful. Start with, and there are so many mindful ways of being mindful on the internet. All you have to do is how to walk mindfully, how to brush your teeth mindfully, how to shower mindfully. All of those things you can practice. And mindfulness requires you to control your mind, which is the essence of yoga anyway. And you say, well, that's too tough to do. Yes, it requires work. Mm-hmm. Being unhappy requires work. Yeah, that requires work too, in my opinion. I think it requires more work than being mindful and getting your mind in order. And that's what yoga means. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Complete control over your mind waves so that you can be who you really are. Every single one of you has a purpose in life. Have you found your purpose? Have you found your passion? If you haven't, you are not going to be happy. You got to find your passion, because you made that decision before you got here. You said to the Lord, okay, I want to do this in this lifetime. And then all the tools that you need for that particular passion has come down with you. And then you come down here and you forget, because you come down in this little form, and you go, oh my God, what am I in here for? And you forget everything that you had before. But your subconscious mind that has been programmed from previous lifetimes is in there too. So not only from this lifetime is your subconscious mind programmed, and you're from previous lifetimes as well. So you think you're going to get complete control over that with your mind? You're thinking about it? No. You're just thinking the same processes over and over and over and over and over. So the word robot is actually correct. Sorry to tell you. Okay. And then you wonder why you can't achieve what you want to achieve. Take the time out. Because being unhappy and not fulfilling your life's purpose becomes more painful and more destructive than taking the time out every single day, taking the time. You don't even have to change your day. Get up in the morning and say, okay, I'm at least going to brush my teeth mindfully, and then start feeling what it feels like as your brush goes in here, not thinking about what you have to do, not thinking about anything else except the toothbrush and that awful toothpaste. Okay? Or you're in the shower. What does it feel like to be in the shower? You don't have to change anything. You just have to change your mind set. Instead of going on. And half the time that you are that you're doing things that you do every day, your mind goes repeating the same stuff over and over. We call them what do they call them? I forgot.
The 7 or
The 12. 12 what? Yeah. Yeah, we repeat the same thoughts. Many times you don't even know what you're thinking. Well, what are you thinking? You're going through the same stuff over and over. You have 12 thoughts that you usually think about that are unconscious. They've been programmed in, and they're reprogramming you every time you think about it. They're making a deeper groove. And the groove gets deeper and deeper, and you keep doing the same thing over. And so then when you get to be my age, oh my gosh, you can barely climb out of that groove. Okay? Yeah. So, become mindful. Become aware of your thoughts. Realize that a lot of times things are coming up in your mind that don't belong to you. Your present you. And what was true when you were 5 years old and somebody told you is not true when you're 10 years old, but we're still going by that. And what was true at 10 is not true at 20. And so forth. And what's true at 20 is not true at 30. And every time you change all the time. So what was in the past is not your future. You must evolve with it. You must change with it. You can't be running the same programming the whole life from 5 to 50. But you see a lot of people that are running the same program. And they will not change. They are so set in the program because they're afraid if they change, what will they find? But here's the key. The key is you must understand. And this was my problem when I started meditating. I thought, well, if I close my mind and close my eyes, what am I going to find? And I was afraid to find devil within me. Because, you know, we're told we're sinners. We're born with original sin. So I was afraid if I closed my eyes. So I got into meditation and I went like this. Oh my God, what am I going to find? Well, here's the thing. There is no sinner within you. That's in your mind. You know what's in the core of your being? And nobody told me that in the very beginning. The core of your being is your divine heart. And why did I have you meditating on your sacred heart today? You have a sacred heart within you with the divine energy. And in every single person's heart is divine energy. And you have the potential to bring that heart up to the potential of being the sacred heart. And what is in the sacred heart? There are 3 very strong components of the sacred heart. Divine will, divine wisdom, divine love. But that's not available to everybody because divine will means you have to surrender totally. That's not available. But everybody has a sacred heart. And you will not find the devil within you. You will find the beautiful, sacred individual, that beautiful soul self that the Lord has given you, the beautiful soul that you came with, that you have covered up with clouds so that you can't see it with your thoughts, with your emotions, with everything else. When we're in meditation, we see that beautiful soul that comes out, and you feel your soul you feel the divine energy within you, and you feel your soul self, and you become that beautiful. And I look at every person like a beautiful flower ready to explode into flowers. And you're all buds. You just haven't opened up all the time. And some of these are opened halfway, but they can open all the way. And that's who we are. We are nothing but buds waiting to open into the most gorgeous flower. And every flower is different. And every flower has a different purpose in life. And that's okay. But that's what is waiting for you when you start looking inside. There is no devil in there. And you are definitely not a sinner. You have made mistakes. But then again, nobody punishes you for mistakes. You just have to do it over again and try again. That's all. And there is no, and over the centuries of having this drilled into us, that we are sinners and that God is going to punish us and we're going to be sent to hell, all of those things are keeping us from finding who we really are. And why were we told that? So that they can control us? No, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Okay? Absolutely not. That's why I couldn't be in black. I had to be in orange. Even though I tried being in the black, I couldn't be. I couldn't be a Christian nun. Could not be. It just did not work. I asked my Christian nun, she was talking about hell, and of course, I didn't grow up with them. I had good experience a few years that I was in Catholic school, so well, you told us yesterday that God was omnipresent, and today you tell me that he sends us to hell if we're not good. And if God is omnipresent, that means God sends himself to hell. I didn't know that we weren't supposed to say those things. But do you see the process? If God is omnipresent, how can you be evil? Every religion teaches that, and yet to teach the other half, that you're a sinner. How can that be? If God is omnipresent, God is within you. How can you be a sinner at the same time? Yes, you can make mistakes because you don't have all of God's qualities yet. You haven't become a saint yet, okay? But that is your destiny, so you might as well start. Good luck. Yeah. But are you seeing the fallacy in this teaching? I saw it when I was very young. I went to every church I can imagine. I sat, it just didn't work. So here I am in orange. Okay. Our goal is to be able to tap into our higher consciousness, into our sacred mind, and our intuition to access information needed to complete our mission. And that's your intuition. When you have that gut feeling sometimes, you know you have to follow it. Gut feeling, the body cannot lie, so the gut feeling is always correct. Okay? And you have to tap into the now moment. And it's not as difficult as you think, because our mind is so distracted. We have the news, we have this, we have to get into a car, we have to drive, we have to do so many things. You got to take some time out to relax that mind and become mindful. If you don't relax the mind is then programmed, it's like wound up like a clock, and it keeps on ticking on the same circle. You got to stop that clock. Let it recuperate with mindfulness, with meditation. Okay? Practice something you enjoy. If you can find something that you love to do, you can easily become mindful, because creativity requires you to tap into your soul self, into your heart center, which has the divine image of you. And in order to tap into that, that's intuition. That's how creativity is done. That's how artists create. That's how mathematicians come up with new ideas. And that's how everything is created. New ideas, new inventions, all of that comes through that intuition. You think you have original thoughts? No, you don't. You just tap into the higher self and come out with what you need. And it's a beautiful process. Allow yourself to have that process. Don't go through the same rotation, the same everything. No, it's time to change. It's time for now especially. The planet now has extra energy, pranic energy. And if you start taking in more prana and you have more divine, which I call God molecules, you have them within you, then I know that you have the ability to do so. Ability to do so. There is nothing is waiting, nothing is lacking. You have the ability. Got that? Take out time every single day. 1, gratitude. 2, mindfulness. And then you will want to stop your mind in order to find your real self. Once you become mindful on a regular basis, you will know how wonderful that is. All of a sudden your mind is so relaxed, it can have new thoughts, new ideas, new experiences, and not the same junk. I call it junk. The same stuff over and over. Don't want to call your mind junk. I just call mind junk. Okay? And with that, I will close this lecture for YouTube, and then the rest of you can ask questions. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.